Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! The most wonderful feeling in the world is knowing that you create videos that people draw inspiration from. And I have the chance to do this all the time with my videos on Freya Sky, Clarke and Trell, because I just love to touch your hearts with how I feel about Descendants of Zombies, because it's all about how you tell a story. When it comes to Descendants of Zombies, it's all about how you present your videos and you present your content, and you really run away with the idea that Descendants 5 and Zombies 5 will eventually happen for everybody, along with giving them hope for that foreseeable future. And that's all I've ever wanted to do in every video that I've ever uploaded, is give you guys hope for a foreseeable future having everything to do with your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars. Because I felt inspired by these stars and their stories. The beautiful story of Zed and Addison was a story that I told many times over the years on this YouTube channel, and I loved having the opportunity to do it. Because if we were going to talk about somebody like Meg Donnelly, we were going to talk about Meg Donnelly, and we were going to give her hope for that foreseeable future, because she has so much of an opportunity to really make the most of, and I'm just excited to be a part of that, just like each and every one of you. I mean, we can choose to say goodbye to Zed and Addison's story, believing it's been told and completed many times over the years. But I think that many people have just fallen in love with this story and have refused to let go. And if you are somebody who has refused to let go of this beautiful love story, then I agree with you on how you feel about it, because I feel the same way. I never wanted to say goodbye to Zed and Addison because I believed their story was so beautiful, and there was still so much more of a story to be told. And I think that a lot of people who choose to criticize Zombies really just don't have the greater appreciation shown for the Zombies franchise, because it has come a long way in such a short amount of time. In just 7 years, Zed and Addison went on to hold a very special place in every one of our hearts. And we drew something special and took something special away from Zed and Addison's performances every single time. I say this because I was a fan of every power couple that Disney tried to promote over at least the last 15 years. Troy Bolton and Gabriela Montez is one of those revered power couples that is talked about a lot of the time, and I think that they're talked about a lot because they've been celebrated over the years. The reason why they've been celebrated over the years is because when you think of a power couple, the first power couple that comes to mind, or at least should come to mind, is Gabriela Montez and Troy Bolton, for just how passionate they felt about each other and how appreciative they were of every moment they got to spend with each other and around each other, because that's what made High School Musical into such a huge success. And that's the reason why we saw High School Musical, the series, with some of your favorite Descendants characters being a part of that franchise and their unbelievable contributions that they made to that franchise. I don't think we ever thought that years ago, when the High School Musical trilogy was at the heights of its popularity, we'd see a TV series, but I think everybody held on to that hope we'd get to that point. And I think High School Musical, the series, presented more of a chance to Clarke and Trell to be more captivating, to really, steal our hearts in so many unbelievable ways. And this is the reason why Clarke and Trell has come so far in such a short amount of time, is because she believed in every opportunity, and she really made the most of it. And as a result of this, people are choosing to criticize Clarke and Trell for these defining roles that she's seen in Descendants and High School Musical, the series, which I was particularly fond of. I was always a fan of High School Musical. That's where it all began for me. I fell in love with High School Musical perhaps quicker than anybody who had ever reviewed anything Disney was promoting, of whatever generation I was a fan of. I've been a fan of Disney for pretty much a lifetime, and I've been a part of everything that Disney has promoted, and I felt really special to have had the honor to be a part of it, to have the chance to create so many wonderful videos where you come off as an inspiration about how you tell a story, is the most wonderful feeling in the world. I think YouTube is a beautiful platform and can be utilized to the best of everybody's ability to really emphasize the greater appreciation of life. And I think that I've had a greater appreciation of life through everything I've talked about on this YouTube channel. I've not only had the honor to talk about things like High School Musical and Hannah Montana and Wizards and Descendants and Zombies, I've had the honor of meeting so many wonderful people who have drawn inspiration from their favorite characters and really all these defining moments that have made them fans of Descendants and Zombies for what feels like forever. I have never wanted to say goodbye. I've always had this issue presented to me where I've never wanted to say goodbye to any franchise that I thought was popular, that I thought more of a chance should be taken on. So when I saw Clarke and Trell playing these characters as Gabby Duran on Gabby Duran and the Unsittables, where it all began for Clarke and Trell, it really began on her YouTube channel, which I was a huge fan of. But when I saw her on her groundbreaking Disney Channel series called Gabby Duran and the Unsittables, I thought she really had something special going on for her, and she had the love and support of her family. Her mom was a professional dancer. Growing up in a dance home definitely benefited Clarke and Trell. She has these beautiful dance videos she always uploads on her social media accounts which I really love seeing. Every morning at 6:30 a.m. I'm always catching a Kylie Control TikTok video. So I've always appreciated Kylie Control and what she's got going on, because I think Kylie Control really believes in these moments, and she really believes in every moment she has the chance to spend with each and every one of you and around you and surround herself with are moments that are meant to be special and are moments that should be celebrated. And I've just wanted to celebrate these moments with each and every one of you, because we have something excited to be about for the future when it comes to Descendants and Zombies, because there is still so much more of a story to be told. When you think about characters like Red and Chloe Charming, they are beautiful stories, and how they represented these stories from characters from Alice in Wonderland and Cinderella were beautifully collaborated. I think that when you think about a daughter of Cinderella and Prince Charming, it would have to be Chloe Charming. I go all the way back to when Malia Baker was on that TV series, the reboot of Are You Afraid of the Dark, because I was a huge fan of Are You Afraid of the Dark years ago. I remember being there for the pilot episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark, The Tale of the Phantom Cab, and that was back on October 31st, 1990. That was on Halloween night of 1990, and I never ever forgot it. And I was a huge fan of Are You Afraid of the Dark? So fast forward 25 years later, here comes this new presentation of the Midnight Society, and who should be one of the members but Malia Baker. And I was such a huge fan of Malia's work on Are You Afraid of the Dark? So as a result of being a huge fan of her on Are You Afraid of the Dark and being one of the members of the Midnight Society, which I always wanted to be, mind you, I always wanted to be a member of the Midnight Society and say, I present the tale up for the approval of the Midnight Society. I think that's how it went, wasn't it? Submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society, I call this tale the Tale of the Phantom Cab. That's how it went. I never ever forgot how Are You Afraid of the Dark was presented years ago. I thought the producer DJ McHale was great. And when I heard that Nickelodeon was doing a reboot with Malia Baker being a part of the cast, I was forever supportive of it. And I think since then, since that moment in time, which I wish I could have frozen to go back in time and relive over and over again, I was a huge fan of Malia Baker. So when I heard she was joining the cast of Descendants, this new cast, along with Kylie Contrell and Ruby Rose Turner kind of thrown in there, I thought their friendship was beautifully represented. And I think that was one of the things that really intrigued me about the Descendants franchise, was that their friendship was just so beautifully represented. And they were there for every single moment of each other's lives, every step of the way. They never quit on each other. They were so supportive of each other, and that's why the chemistry was really off the charts, and why people very quickly fell in love with people like Kylie and Ruby and Malia, and continue to many years later, because it's been about 2.5 years since Descendants returned off this 5-year hiatus. And I don't think really many people expected much out of this reboot of Descendants, but I think it exceeded all of our expectations. It certainly exceeded all of my expectations as a reviewer, because I believe that if I was going to say anything nice about Descendants and Zombies, it was going to be heard and seen on this YouTube channel, because I know there are millions of fans of Descendants and Zombies out there that want to take more of a chance on Descendants and Zombies and believing in the future of Descendants and Zombies than ever before. So because there are more fans of Descendants and Zombies than ever before, these are moments that should be celebrated. These are moments that you should believe in and should continue to receive encouragement that moments like these are going to continue to happen. Because if you believe that this story is far from being told and completed, then you should continue on believing that. You should continue on believing in and supporting your favorite characters, because they believe in these moments just as much as you have believed in them. And that's what's so incredible about Descendants and Zombies fans. I mean, you take me, for example. I was pretty much a loser on YouTube, talking about video games and some TV show that I may have been a fan of, like Vampire Diaries, SpongeBob SquarePants, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Sailor Moon. I was a really big fan of Japanese animation years ago. So in 1994, 1995, when Sailor Moon first premiered, I was a huge fan of it. I believe it ran from 1992 up until 1995, 1996. And I remember watching every episode of Sailor Moon because I thought the animation, Japanese animation, there was something to be appreciated about Japanese animation. And Sailor Moon's friendship with all the Sailor Scouts, Sailor Venus, Sailor Mars, Sailor Jupiter. I think there was Sailor Mercury there too. They were incredibly beautiful. The Japanese animation that went behind that TV series was something to be appreciative of. So I can understand what it's like to be a fan of something and to forever be a fan of something. So if you're passionate about collecting Descendants and Zombies merch, if you're a fan of the dolls, which I've always wanted to have my own doll, I think it's cool. And I think it's something that more people on YouTube should encourage, because I know there are people who probably have shelves in the room full of Descendants and Zombies dolls. And if you have shelves in your room full of Descendants and Zombies dolls, I think that's cool because it has everything to do with how passionate you are about Descendants of Zombies. Some of you probably have Descendants of Zombies posters. I know because I've seen it. And I've seen so much heart and dedication put behind Descendants of Zombies. And if you put so much heart and dedication into your favorite stars and all these moments that you've had a chance to experience because of people like Freya and Kylie, I support you. And I would love for you to subscribe to this YouTube channel because we still have a long way to go on this unforgettable journey that I feel like I've been a part of for what must feel like forever for a lot of people. For those of you who have been subscribed to this YouTube channel for what feels like forever, what must feel like forever at least, I have uploaded hundreds of videos about Descendants of Zombies. And the reason why I've uploaded hundreds of videos about Descendants of Zombies, it has everything to do with how these stars have been made to feel because of how a critic perceives somebody like Clarke, who may have given a performance 24 hours ago, who really took exception to the performance that Clarke dropped. But even though they took exception to the performance Clarke may have perceived herself, I think Clarke does a fabulous job every single time she steps out onto a Worlds Collide Tour stage or on the set of Descendants of Zombies because she gives it life. And she really has a significant meaning behind Descendants of Zombies. I think with every performance that Clarke has ever given us, as the character Red, as Tony in High School Musical, as Gabby Duran on Gabby Duran and the Unsittables, where it all began for Clarke off the success of her YouTube channel, I can only dream of ever having 500,000 views and 500,000 subscribers in less than 1 year, but it has everything to do with God-given talent. And that's what Clarke possesses, is God-given talent that we should really be marveling in. I think that we're going to post more videos about Clarke and Ruby Rose Turner, who I had the biggest crush on from Descendants fame. I think ever before Descendants, what am I saying? I was a huge fan of Ruby, but I think that Descendants was really the icing on the cake that really got it done for me and really hit it home for me with Ruby, because I think that having the chance to present a character like Bridget was so phenomenally done by Ruby and so fantastically represented. I don't think anyone would have been able to represent the character Bridget and bring it to life the way that Ruby did, which is why forever and always I will be an advocate for Ruby playing the live-action Rapunzel for Disney's live-action Tangled. I don't care what live-action princess Disney wants to bring to life. Moana is going to be the next one in 2026. In July 2026, Dwayne Johnson and this beautiful girl who's going to be playing the live-action Moana is going to do a fantastic job. I think that Moana is going to be a beautiful live-action princess adaptation, and I look forward to that. I will be attending it next summer. I'm really excited for that because the girl playing Moana is absolutely gorgeous. She does so many lifelike performances of these songs from the Moana soundtrack, which are beautifully collaborated. But having said that, when you think about how live-action princesses have been represented over the years, like Emma Watson's portrayal of Belle, Lily May's portrayal of Cinderella, which was beautifully done, I say this because I will never ever forget how the live-action Cinderella in 2015 was brought to life. I never ever forgot that story that I read about how the fabric was 45 minutes in length that was used to create Cinderella's ball gown. And I never ever forgot that. So basically what that means is I have a sidewalk outside my house. So the length of the fabric is 45 minutes, which means if you spread the length of the fabric, the full length of the sidewalk, it would take you 45 minutes to walk it. And I was really intrigued by that. And then I saw this beautiful performance of Lily May as Cinderella in the live-action Cinderella, and I said, you know, if there was something I was going to fall in love with, it would have to be this. So then I think about Ruby Rose Turner having such a desire to want to bring a character like Rapunzel to life, you know, such a huge fan of Mandy Moore. Why not give her the opportunity to do that? Why not give her the chance to really run away with the character Rapunzel and see how she gives it life, how she puts meaning behind this performance? Because we can choose Sabrina Carpenter every single time. We can choose to keep on falling in love with Sabrina Carpenter, but it's the same 3 or 4 celebrities who are always presented with these opportunities and these chances. Give more of a chance to Ruby Rose Turner and see what she can do with it. Because I think there are more Ruby Rose Turner fans out there who love Ruby so much, who would love to see the opportunity given to Ruby to really run away with this character. And I, for one, believe that it would be the most beautiful live-action Disney princess ever portrayed. I think that Ruby would definitely receive a lot of awards. I think more people would become fans of Ruby and really fall in love with her. Because what really did it for me, what really hit it home with me with Ruby, was how appreciative Ruby was of every moment that she got to share with each and every one of you. She was always so excited to keep you in an informative loop. She doesn't do it as often as she used to because there are a lot of fan sites that are taking care of that now for Ruby on social media outlets all the time. But I always used to appreciate seeing things posted by Kylie and Ruby because I think that more of this should be happening when it comes to the informative loop with celebrities, because sometimes celebrities kind of just tend to vanish and be forgotten about. I remember years ago how I was a huge fan of Jessica Simpson, and when I say I was a huge fan of Jessica Simpson, man, was I ever. I love Jessica Simpson so much, and I wanted to take more of a chance on Jessica Simpson in 1999 since the premiere of her debut album. It was called Sweet Kisses, and if I was going to take a chance on anyone at that era, it was going to be Jessica Simpson, because from that era, there were the defining, celebrities like Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera that were always talked about. But people like Jessica Simpson were never given enough credit, nor shown enough respect. And if I was going to show anybody any significant amount of respect, it was going to have to be Jessica Simpson, because she was so appreciative of everything she ever had the chance to collaborate with for Disney and just be a part of. And I can always remember being a huge fan of Jessica Simpson. I was a sucker for Jessica. I had the poster of Jessica Simpson as part of my backdrop for my videos. Man, if there was a fan of Jessica Simpson, I was. And if there was one girl that I could be a fan of in this generation to proudly represent and say I was a fan of, it would have to be either Ruby Rose Turner or Kylie Cantrell. And it has everything to do with how they still have a long way to go. And I have this to say to each and every one of you. If you are a fan of people like Ruby Rose Turner and Kylie Cantrell and look forward to being in the foreseeable future, I support you. And I will forever and always be here. You guys will always have me to help you make sense of everything going on around you when it comes to Descendants and Zombies. Because I know how it goes. Everybody wants to know if Zombies 5 is going to happen, what's going to happen in Zombies 5 in the way of a script or a story. The thing that you have to realize is we still have so much of a beautiful story to be told about Victor and Nova and still have a long way to go. So because we still have a long way to go, that raises a lot of questions. What's going to come next? What's inside of this vortex? What's the story going to detail for Victor and Nova? Will it be a love story? Will it be a story based off friendship? Regardless of how this story comes to be, it is going to be a beautiful story over time, which means eventually we will get to a point where they will say the words "I love you" in a script. We will see that happen for them. They will fall in love, and they will share a definitive kiss. Because you think about all the years that you waited for Zed and Addison to share a kiss and to tell each other they loved each other. And I think that from the very first moment you watched Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires, people were waiting on a wish to hear the words "I love you" in the script for Zed and Addison. And if anybody was going to share the words "I love you" and share a significant moment in time that could have been frozen to relive over and over again, it would have had to have been Zed and Addison, because of how beautiful their friendship was. Not just their romance, but their beautiful friendship and how much they supported each other. Because no matter what predicaments they were caught up within, they were forever supportive of each other. And what I really appreciated that Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires were, they were inseparable. Nothing could ever tear them apart. They had no arguments in Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires. All they wanted to get the most out of the opportunity they had was to spend the rest of their lives together. And I was forever supportive of that, because I think we all get to a point in our lifetime where we meet somebody comes into our lives that we wish or we dream that we could have the chance to spend the rest of our lives with. And that's what's so cool, and to be so appreciative of life, because the opportunities that we are presented with, I wish more people would take more of an opportunity with these opportunities to really shine, because we have so many people that come into our lives unexpectedly that really change our lives and really help us scope our lives into what they become. Because you don't really need a whole lot of friends. I've always believed that you only need a few good friends to help you make sense of everything that may be going on around you. And if you have 2 or 3 really good friends that you call all the time, you're always texting back and forth, you're always sharing in each other's stories and experiences that sometimes can be very emotional, that only your best girlfriends can really understand, which is why I really appreciated this friendship with Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker and Ruby Rose Turner, because the 3 of them, it doesn't seem right or doesn't feel right when they're not a part of each other's lives, honestly. I love seeing them have fun. And that's the biggest thing about recording all of these videos about Descendants and Zombies. I love seeing your favorite stars always having fun, always coming to the forefront, and always exemplifying the importance of friendship and how friends will always see you through life. And I think that this is something to take into consideration when you review Descendants and Zombies every single time, which I wish more YouTube creators will really take full advantage of and really understand, because nobody understands you better than your best girlfriend that's always been there for you. And I think that's why a lot of guys and their relationships don't really turn out for the better, because they can't really understand how a girl truly feels. What a guy's got to understand is a girl just wants to make everybody around her that she surrounds herself with happy. And until they understand that, no relationships will ever work out for the better. And I think that's where Kylie Cantrell has really been misunderstood, because she wants to get more out of life and she wants to achieve more. And just because she wants to achieve more, I think there's a lot of jealousy from everybody that has uploaded videos about Kylie Cantrell. There's a lot of jealous people in this world, and jealousy can make you think a lot of awful things. But I think if you set that aside, you will realize that Kylie Cantrell has accomplished so much in such a short amount of time, and it's really a lot of things to really marvel in. So I think because it's a lot of things to really marvel in, and really miraculous what's happened for Kylie Cantrell, it's really beautiful what's going on for her. So I just wish more people would upload more videos of positive reviews having everything to do with Kylie Cantrell, like yours truly. But regardless of what happens or who comes in and out of these franchises, you guys will forever and always have me to help you make sense of everything going on with Descendants of Zombies, because we still have a long way to go and we have so much to get into in the way of a conversation. So I will return sometime between now and sunset this evening with one final video for you guys. I've been uploading videos ever since midnight last night. I've been listening to a lot of radio interviews that Freya Sky has been doing to promote her new single, Silent Treatment. If you haven't already heard it, it's a beautiful song. Head over to FreyaSky.com, head over to her social accounts, and her YouTube channel is blowing up right now because of that single. And I think if there was one single to fall in love with, it would have to be Silent Treatment. There's an interesting story that goes with Silent Treatment, and I will have more for you on that in my upcoming commentary, which will drop in my archive sometime between now and sunset this evening, so keep watching for that video to drop. By the way, guys, thank you so much for all the love and support you've shown every video that I've ever uploaded on this YouTube channel from the very beginning. The love and support that I receive for every video is truly phenomenal. Thank you so much for having watched this video.